EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martich here with your outlook for January 10th, 2024. It is Wednesday. The Wednesday video forecast is proudly sponsored by the KP Agency in Easton, Pennsylvania. The KP Agency is a full-service senior insurance brokerage located in downtown Easton, Pennsylvania. Although the Medicare open enrollment period has officially ended, it is good to know that it doesn't mean your opportunity to change or add to your coverage has definitively expired. There are special enrollment periods available throughout the year for those that are already enrolled. And for those who are turning 65 and new to Medicare, you have your initial election period that begins 3 months before your birthday. Don't fall prey to bait and switch solicitations or commercials, and instead rely on a local trusted resource to guide you through the process with ease. Call or text Kristen at 908-329-7140. That's 908-329-7140. Or visit them online at thekpa.net to get what's truly best for you. They are the KP Agency in Easton, Pennsylvania, proud sponsors of the Wednesday video forecast. So good riddance to this rainstorm, massive storm came through with very windy conditions. But we're not done with the wind. We are going to be done with the rain, maybe a leftover shower in a few spots this morning. And then we're just mostly cloudy throughout the day, and we're going to have windy conditions to deal with all day today. It was windy last night. Won't be that windy, but we will have some cold air advection-related wind gusts that will continue today. 15 to 25 will be the common wind gusts with some peak gusts that are in the 30s today. So nothing terrible compared to last night, but that will be a during-the-day type thing today. So here's what the European model has with this moving away. And then in the wake of that, we have these lines of equal pressure here are like this, okay? So they're kind of tight together. That's giving you that flow in that's cold air advection related to give you the winds today. And here's what the NAM has for any precipitation this morning. It's not much, just maybe a leftover shower in spots early on, and then after that we are just mostly cloudy throughout the day and just windy, okay? That's what we're dealing with today. Here's what the wind looks like for today. And generally between 30 and as much as 40 miles per hour. I think 40 would be the peak that you would see, and that's going to be mainly in our eastern areas if you do see that. And that's going to be during the daylight hours today where you see that wind, okay? So we're going to move ahead now to the next one because we have a mostly sunny Thursday, and then we have another one of these systems coming in Friday. Now, before you get all sideways and bent out of shape with this is a significant storm, but it's not going to be rising to the levels, most likely the one we just had, okay? So it's going to be not welcome. We don't need it, obviously. Can't do anything about it. It's going to be a very similar evolution in the sense that we have a cutting low pressure and a redevelopment yet again. So it's another Miller B type situation. This cuts into the Great Lakes. Could be a wintry start, although, again, the wintry start this time I don't think is going to be as great as what we saw on Tuesday morning. There actually had some areas in central PA that overperformed quite a bit and had about double of what we expected there. So they did pretty well before that changed over to rain there. It still did fundamentally change everything in the way we said it would, but it just had a little bit more of a thump on the front end for places like State College down to Altoona, all the way up to just northwest of Williamsport in that area. I mean, we had a little bit of snow across northeast PA, but again, that wasn't expected to be that much anyway. It was really out here in central PA they really got hit. But we have a similar situation here coming in on Friday, but this is going to be a little bit warmer at the onset because it's not coming in first thing in the morning. It's coming in later in the day on Friday. So it's going to come in late Friday or Friday evening, and then changes to rain for everybody. But this is a quick mover. This is not something that's going to last quite as long. I think it's done by late Friday night. And, on the NAM itself, you can see, if I get the image, this is as far as it goes. I don't have the full scope of this on the NAM yet. But again, he has a little bit of snow at the onset. This is Friday evening, okay, early evening, 7 o'clock. Move this forward. And this runs out of range here because it's the max range of the NAM. But you see the back edge of this is already back here, okay? So this is a little bit past midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's moving off to the north and east. So it's not going to be as long duration as what we had with this last one. And the winds don't look like it's going to be quite as high with this either. So total precipitation is generally for this one between 3/4 of an inch and 1.5 inches. Now that is not something we need right now, obviously, especially on the heels of just getting 2+ inches of rain from this past one, and then the one before that, and the 3 before that in December. This is not good, but at least it's not quite to the level of what we were dealing with on Tuesday evening and overnight, most notably. Okay, so this is 24-hour precipitation, just taking that specific storm, right? So we'll go back to the wind map here. I just want to show you what it does here for wind. This is today, the cold air advection. Then we move forward to Friday. It does have some. It generally in the 35 to or 30 to 40 range, and then the elevation areas might get up to about 45 or so when this pushes through. But this is quickly through, and then Saturday, in the wake of that, we're going to have cold air advection related gusts. These are going to be legitimate, unlike today, which is kind of like 15 to 25 with some gusts in the 30s. I think you're going to have some gusts over 40 miles per hour with this one, because that is when that's going to escort in the cold air that's going to set us up for at least the next week, where really cold temperatures with the highs getting barely above freezing, if that, as a best case scenario for that much of that week ahead, beyond that system that's coming in on Friday and exiting early Saturday. Okay, so when you look at this system exiting early Saturday, there's all this cold. There's a very cold trough behind this. Here's that lead edge of that cold air coming in on Saturday. So temperatures, whatever you have on Saturday morning as far as a high, you might see in your app forecast, it'll say like 48, 50 degrees. That's going to be very early in the overnight. And temperatures are going to crash in the afternoon, definitely, when this comes in. But you see these, again, lines of equal pressure very close together. So we're going to have some pretty windy conditions on Saturday in the wake of it. And I think it's going to be a chance to get into the 40s as far as wind gusts escorting in this cold air. And then beyond this, we are partly cloudy here on Sunday, and temperatures not getting too far from freezing, maybe lower 30s. That's it. So we're 30 to 35 degree range basically for highs on Sunday. Same thing on Monday. We're going to increase clouds ahead of our next system. And this one could be a snow event. This looks like in our local forecast, we do have snow possible. I don't have any other precipitation type listed. So it's a 40% chance right now because it's out there a little bit, and the models are doing different things with it. This is the European model, which is a little bit more aggressive, which I think is correct. If you look at the last couple systems, the last several going all the way back to December, there hasn't been any puny systems coming through. Anything coming in the southern stream, which this is doing, has been amped and juiced. Okay, so it hasn't been. It hasn't been these little like 1 to 3 type events. Okay, so if you're going to have a snow event, which I really think you're going to have, because at Tuesday it's going to be cold. I mean, you might not get above freezing in most areas. And I know it's showing rain here in our southeastern areas. Don't get too excited about that yet in the details, because the ensembles are showing a different story, and they're very much on this. Okay, so here is that onset snow, if you will, at the beginning of that system on Friday, on Friday evening. And then if you move this forward, this is just 24-hour snowfall. Look what it does here for this system on in that period. This is a 48-hour total snowfall, and I don't pay attention to the numbers so much as it is the axis here. I want you to pay attention to the fact that this is going all the way down here for accumulating snow. So this is not just going to be an interior event, I don't think. And I think you're going to have the opportunity for accumulating snow farther southeast than we've seen so far. In areas in the interior, no chance for any kind of mixing whatsoever. Okay, so you're pretty good there. It's just a matter of how much are we going to get. Are we going to get something that's like a 3 to 6 inch event? Are we talking about 6 to 12? That's on the table. There are some more aggressive solutions as well to make up this blended mean. But this is still something better to use at this range, because it's indicating that there's a better than average chance of seeing accumulating snow here in the Monday night and Tuesday timeframe. So we're going to re-examine this here in the week ahead. I really want to focus on Friday night here first, because we have another one of these semi-impactful systems. I don't want to say full impactful, because that's what the word I used for Tuesday night system. And obviously the impacts are not going to be quite to that level, but they're still going to be impactful in its own regard. So we'll just keep it at that. And then, of course, the cold air advection related winds that will come through on Saturday. So big changes this week. If you look at the local forecast that we have on our website, there are big temperature swings, especially when you get into from Sunday onward. You're going to really feel it. With the temperatures getting back down to what you expect in January for winter. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchich. That is your outlook for January 10th, 2024. Have a great Wednesday.